I want to ask specifically with relation to some of the people who are listening, and I want to stress this with people all the time who are listening to the show. The site is called the Divorced Dad Playbook, but it is so much more than just divorced dads. It's single dads, it's divorced women, it's obviously divorced moms. It's really everyone. So I wanted to ask you, how many of your clients in either of those disciplines, how many of your clients come to fix themselves, and how many come to fix their relationships?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd say they all come to fix themselves. They're all there to fix themselves, and a lot of them don't have relationships. So on the surrogate partner therapy side, a lot of them are not, not in relationships and haven't been for a long time, or have given up on love or relationship, or have had so many negative or traumatic experiences that they're afraid to put themselves out there. And what they need is to have a, kind of a healing, loving, unconditionally accepting experience to learn to love themselves again and have enough confidence to go out and feel like they can face dating. But I
Well,
do
that's
get a, were you going to ask a question?
no, I was
Oh,
just sorry to cut you off, but that's where you and I connected. I feel that when I first started talking to you about what you did, I said to you, like, I shouldn't date you. I should hire you, because I had been married for 17 years, and I all of a sudden was thrust out into this world that I had no idea what was going on. I'd never been online dating. I had never really gone on an adult date, I feel like. And so what do you do in those situations? And I was terrified. I even put that in my profile at the beginning. I said, I've been single for the first time in 20 years and terrified. And actually it worked, which is funny because I think people gravitated toward that, but it was the truth. And I came to you and asked, like, sort of how I understand if I'm in a somewhat clinical scenario. I talk to a therapist every week, and I can process things with her that I can't necessarily process. It took me years to be able to process those things on my own in real time. But
mhm.
with sexual anxiety and all of the other issues that go along with that, how do some of your clients deal with that? Like, it might be productive, and they feel a sense of self when they're with you. But what happens when they're out in the real world? Like, how do you prepare them for that?
Well, that's a good segue, because to finish answering your first question, I'd say about a quarter of my clients are people like you who are either transitioning out of a long-term relationship or who are newly single and lost, and they don't really know how to relate to themselves and others. Um, and there's a really big concept in surrogate partner therapy that we call generalizing, right? Which
Mhm.
everything that we teach them, we want them to then learn how to generalize and use out in the world with other people, because we don't want them to associate that just with us and get kind of attached or think that that can only happen with us. And what really happens is we teach them to be like us. So we are kind of their teacher, and we guide and lead them. And then we teach them how to take on that role when they go out to do their dating and relationships, because most people have not been in any way educated on how to do relationships,
No.
how to relate to other people. Most people are incredibly dysfunctional, and almost every family is dysfunctional. And so we grow up with these attachment patterns and relational patterns that are very maladaptive, and try to have relationships, and then they're, a nightmare and a shit show. And
Hi.
yes, me too. I mean, I've learned through experience and also through studying this to do it for myself. And so we basically have to teach them how to go out and then teach others. So that's the way that we prepare them, because everything I do for them, I say, okay, now you're going to have to go and be the one who models consent, who models communication, who models being present and really
Yeah.
like focusing, like dealing with all of the difficult issues. And so they learn how to do that with us and get enough confidence that they can go out and then kind of take that leadership role.